This is Tech Tuesday with Exhale Bikes. On today's Tech Tuesday, we've got a customer dropped off his bike, looking at a very neglected drivetrain, hasn't been cleaned in a while. We're looking at dirty gears, dirty chain. Definitely want to get it cleaned up. What can happen here is it can definitely affect your shifting performance and cause more wear on your gears. Being the drivetrain's very dirty, very dry, hasn't been lubed in a while. So we're going to show you today how to get that all cleaned up and shining and get you re-lubed and back out on the trail. Last week we talked about lubing it and make sure you use the right lubrication that you're using. This week we're going to talk about deep cleaning that chain and even cleaning that cassette. Right here, what I've got here is Muc-Off chain tool cleaning. There's a couple different ones out there. Park Tool makes one. Multiple companies make a different version of it. Basically, what you're going to do is put yourself in some sort of solvent in there to clean your chain, fill it up with water, and then we're going to run it over our chain to get that nice and clean and get ready to re-lube that chain again. With ours, we're running a little Dawn dish soap in there. We're going to put some water. There's a lot of different types of chain cleaners out there. Park Tool makes one, Muc-Off makes one, so you kind of choose what works best for you. So now we've got our solution added to our chain cleaner. So what we're going to do is remove our top, slide it over the chain there, reinstall our top back on it, close it. Major safety thing too, you want to make sure to keep your fingers free of your chain ring and of the pulley wheels there. You definitely don't want to catch a finger in there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to backpedal our chain through the cleaning system just to get all that dirt and grime and everything off of there. Just kind of stop, take a look, kind of see there. As you can see, we've already shined the chain up quite a bit compared to what it was when the bike was dropped off. As you can see too, you can see the amount of dirt and oil that is coming off of there into our solution. We'll do it a few more times just to really get through there and get everything nicely cleaned up there. Go ahead and remove our chain cleaner. Set that down. One other thing that I like to do is also take a gear brush here, because as you can see, we've got a lot of dirty gears there. Go ahead and kind of, once again, watching the fingers just for safety, kind of run that gear brush through there just to kind of knock all the dirt and loose debris, since we're going to re-lube our chain and everything and just get it all nice and clean back up. Nice thing about the gear brush too as well is you can also take it and kind of hit up your front chain ring just to kind of brush off some of that debris there as well. And then I also even like to kind of get the inner side of that ring, because that's a lot of where we get a lot of the dirt build up and everything like that, just to knock it off and get it kind of freed. Once we've got that all cleaned up, what we're going to want to take is a nice dry rag, and we are going to go ahead and hold the chain. As you can see, we've already got some dirt coming off of it, and then just backpedal it through the rag just to get that water and solution off of there. Once again, watching your fingers just to make sure you don't get them caught in the chain. And then we're looking at all the debris that's actually coming out of there, the dirt and the grime. Go ahead and change sides. And then a lot of times I'll just kind of backpedal a little bit, hold it, and just kind of slowly wipe everything out of there. You can also lock out your derailleur. Actually remove the chain off of the front chain ring. And then now you've freed up your actual chain ring to be able to kind of get it wiped off too and cleaned up. We'll go ahead and reinstall our chain back on there. Reset our derailleur. And now looking at it, we've got a nice clean chain that's ready to reapply, have lube reapplied on it. Now that we've got this chain all nice and clean, now it's time to re-lube the chain itself. Today we're going to use Squirt, which is a wax-based lube, which we talked about last week on our Tech Tuesday. The wax-based lube is going to put a nice coating on there. It's going to keep the dirt out. It's one of those what we call the dry lube. Big thing with this, after application, you definitely want to make sure that you let it dry, because it will, while it's wet, pick up dirt, or it'll kind of throw all over and you'll end up having chain lube all over your bike. When I start it, I like to always start from the master link, which is where we connect our chain. When I apply this stuff, because you will see it'll go on a little thicker, this stuff, I do it as a link a time, but I like to start with the master link. This I can visibly see. Some of the other lubricants you can't, so it gives you an idea that you've actually lubricated the whole chain once you get back to your master link again. I go ahead and slowly just apply this kind of one drop at a time, just because this is a little bit thicker lube. As you can see, it is going to coat. It will go on white, but it actually will dry clear. So you aren't going to have a white coating on that chain. Don't be worried about that. Or as it dries, it will put a shell on there, so it's not going to pick up a bunch of dirt. We just keep going over the rollers, applying it to each link to make sure that we get a good coating on there. I usually can go around one time on my chain. Some people like to go two. Two wouldn't be a bad idea, especially if it's a first application and you haven't put this type of wax lube on there before. That way you get that first good initial coating on there, and then thereafter just do one coating after you've cleaned that chain. Just going link by link, slowly applying it, moving the chain around so we can get to all those nice rollers, getting them nice and lubricated. And now we made it all the way back around. We're back to our master link on there. I usually slowly just do a little backpedaling, and then I'll go and actually shift it through its gears, because we won't with this type of lube, we want to distribute a little bit on the cassette there. So I just slowly pedal. You don't really want to do a hard pedal, otherwise you're going to throw wax all over the place. So I just kind of slowly shift it and run it through the gears here, just so that each cog gets a little bit of lube on it. Once again, this is something that I would recommend using as the night before, or if you have at least a day before you're going to start riding again, just to make sure that it actually dries, so that way you don't get it full of dirt on the initial ride. Once again, we're back to our starting point. As you can see, I've applied the lube, shifted it through the gears, and we've got a little bit. Like I said, right now it's going to look white. Once it dries, it's actually going to dry clear, so you won't actually see that coating, but that coating will be there to help keep the dirt and debris out of the rollers on that chain.
A few moments later.
You can see our drivetrain's already starting to dry, and it's turning clear. So with your chain cleaner, companies make specific formulas to use with that, or we use a simple solution of Dawn dish detergent with a little bit of water, or even Simple Green with a little bit of water, and you can get that chain nice and cleaned and sparkling again, as well as a gear brush to get into those little grooves. You can pick the dirt out with it, kind of brush it out, clean that chain ring and the chain. Once we get it all nice, clean and dry, we reapplied with that Squirt wax-based lube to keep that nice and clean and ready to go hit the trails again. So with your chain cleaner, right? With your clean cleaner. Okay.